100 or so years ago, members of Canada's militia probably dressed something like this. They were just ordinary folk who, in times of conflict, dropped their pitchforks and picked up their muskets to defend the country in which they believed. Canada has a long-standing tradition of voluntary part-time military service, which continues to this day at proud militia units across our country. People from all walks of life join the reserve to make up a force of men and women trained and ready to support our full-time regular force military establishment. Here in Sherbrooke, Quebec, the Fusiliers, a reserve infantry regiment, is typical of militia units across the country. These dedicated soldiers volunteered to make the Army Reserve part of their lives.
I'm a community college student, and usually my life is pretty predictable. But when you sign up for the militia, you really don't know what you're in for. In the beginning, there's lots of drill, but get used to it, because marching will always be a part of your military life. It does get a bit repetitious at times, and you wonder why you're doing the same thing over and over again. But it's all part of working as a team, and that's essential if you're going to operate successfully in the field, especially when we're called on to work with full-time soldiers. It's something that happens a lot these days, so we do the same jobs in the same way as regular force people.
Dégagez! Dégagez!
It takes us a little longer to qualify, but we get the same training and pass the same exams as the regular force. It means we can step in and do the job right the first time, whenever a need comes along.
With 2 weeks or so of living in the field under combat conditions, summer exercises bring all the hard work and training together. This might be an exercise, a rehearsal you could call it, but it gets pretty realistic out there. That's the key to top-notch training, and the realism extends to every job in the militia, from combat arms to the medical corps. A vital component of the reserve force, medical units are part of any full-scale exercise. It's a specialized option that appeals to many militia reservists. It has often been said that Canada truly became a nation one chilly April morning in 1917, when Canadian soldiers won a brilliant victory at a place in France called Vimy Ridge. People from every walk of life volunteered to serve their country in World War I. They weren't professional soldiers. They were the shoe salesman from Nova Scotia, the lawyer from Quebec, the nurse from Ontario, the clerk from BC. They were volunteers, and all of them contributed to what has become the heritage of the militia. Today, the reserve is the very cornerstone of our country's military establishment, and people from coast to coast are experiencing the challenge and satisfaction of this exciting second career.
I assessed you 2 hits on 169 and 167. 169 was at the top.
Joining the reserve is an adventure that demands the very best of people, but the rewards are there for those who are ready to work hard and dedicate part of their lives to our country.
All right? Any questions?
The militia is pretty important to me. The training has helped increase my self-confidence, and there are lots of other benefits that I find helpful in my civilian activities. Then, there are the friendships I've made that will last my whole life. Some people even learn about new trades or ideas which they can use in their civilian careers. And you know, there really is a sense of doing something special for Canada. I like that.
Service battalions everywhere supply vital support for all our military exercises. It's their responsibility to maintain troops in the field, and they do the military policing, general vehicle upkeep, and much, much more. Service battalions offer a wide range of jobs, from mechanics to cooks, drivers to military police. These are the people who keep an army moving, and it's a part of the reserve that is very attractive to many members. At 10:23 p.m., September 9th, 1939, Canada entered the Second World War. It was barely 20 years since the boys had come marching home from the Great War to end all wars, and now their sons and daughters were being called upon to serve the country. This time, the militia was strong and ready for mobilization right along with the regular force. But never has the militia been more ready to step in and serve than it is today. And that's largely because militia training is rapidly being done to regular force standards. Sure, there are differences. You can get out of the reserve anytime you want, for example. But if you're serious about it, like most people are, you'll feel very much a part of Canada's forces. You'll find the militia serving side by side with the regular force in a variety of United Nations postings around the world as well. The militia is part of our UN peacekeeping service in Cyprus, the Golan Heights, and several other countries where our help is needed. Voluntary call-outs may not be a frequent part of the reservist's life because competition is stiff and these privileged chances to serve are few, but the opportunities do exist for qualified reservists, and the experience is worth working for. The engineers play a critical role within the militia and contribute significantly to the military system. From laying mines to building bridges, the engineers are trained as a valued resource. But just like in any other element, every engineer goes through the basics.
Up 10, tuck. Shoulder, arm. Come on, get a grip on them. Present, arm.
When I signed on, I couldn't understand what basic training had to do with being an engineer. But it's all part of becoming a soldier. Much of your first year is taken up with general military instruction, and when that's finished, you'll have a good understanding of things like military discipline, history, use of small arms, and you'll know just how the Army works. Then, as you become part of the team, you'll be ready to go on with more specific trades training. It's a really interesting way to spend your time, and we get paid for it. What could be better?
I've been in the militia for 6 years now. It's been an exciting time. I'm an accountant in civilian life, and most of the time I'm working indoors. But I get to do all sorts of things with the militia that I could never experience any other way. And there's lots of opportunity for the future. Promotions are based on merit and qualifications, and anybody can go up the ladder if they work at it.
Gas, gas, gas.
Yes, yes, yes,
Gas, gas, gas. 7, 8, 9.
But if you're looking for real success, you've got to think of the reserve as a second career, not just another part-time job.
This gas mask will save your life.
This is 3-2 Alpha, message over. 3-2 Alpha, the OPs are properly cammed and in position, over.
Members of the militia are a very special breed. They must balance their military obligations with all the demands of a civilian life.
Then that ice.
They develop a whole new circle of friends and are part of a lifestyle few Canadians get the chance to experience.
010 cha.
They are continually meeting new challenges and testing themselves to the very limit.
Shoulder arms. Queen's York Rangers will march past in column route. Move to the right in column route. Right. Turn.
It's tough sometimes, but nobody ever said being reservist is easy. That's probably what makes it so interesting. If you've got what it takes and can give some time to your country, you'll bring something extra to your life by being part of the militia.
By the left. Quick. March.
Visit a recruiting center or reserve unit in your community and ask to see our video, Chance of a Lifetime. You'll find out for yourself what the reserve is all about. Things like qualifications, pay, time commitments, and benefits. Take a few minutes and discover your chance of a lifetime.